What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. If you are new to the channel, do me a favor, hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, make sure you're not missing any of the awesome content we have coming out. And with this video, we are jumping into Daredevil Woman Without Fear, issue number 1. And this will be a tie-in to Daredevil and Devil's Reign, the current Marvel event that is taking place in New York City. And if you aren't keeping up with this event, if you haven't been keeping up with these titles, go ahead, check out the link in my description as well as the top of this video. It'll get you completely caught up on everything that brought us to this point. And more than likely, we're going to be covering most of the tie-ins to Devil's Reign. There may be a handful that we don't cover if it doesn't really move the plot forward. But what we have seen is Kingpin, the former kingpin of crime and now the mayor of New York City. And he is making a move against Daredevil, not knowing his identity, not knowing how Daredevil was able to trick everyone into forgetting his identity. But Kingpin wants to make him pay. And so in New York City, it is now illegal to be a superhero, to be a masked vigilante. And with him deputizing his new task force, his new group of Thunderbolts. They have been tasked with maintaining order along NYPD. Be sure to buy the comics, support the industry, and with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so as we dive into this issue, we are picking up with Elektra, and she has come to confront Mayor Fisk. Because Elektra, of all people, she knows what needs to be done. Mayor Fisk needs to die. And if no one else is willing to do this, she will carry this burden. The only issue is, when she arrived, Mayor Fisk, he had all of his files out. The files he uses to control everyone around him. Having every single dirty little secret on everybody. And we see Elektra, she second guesses herself. This whole time that we have seen Matthew Murdock locked up in prison, she has been holding the mantle of Daredevil, and she promised him that she would live by his code. And this is what causes her hesitation. This is why she isn't just taking her weapons and driving them through the head of Wilson Fisk right now. And because of this hesitation, we see Kingpin let her know that he has taken her file and given it to someone who would be very interested in finding out more about her or using that against her. And so now that this information is out in the world, she has to worry about Matthew Murdock finding out what it is. Finding out her deep dark secret she has been keeping from him. Because she has fallen in love with him. Though this was never her intention, never something that she really wanted, it has happened nonetheless. And she is petrified, absolutely terrified that he is going to find out the truth and never look at her the same again. And so for one more night, without Matthew knowing any of the truth, we see them enjoy each other's company. And though she feels guilty as she talks to him, he continues to reassure her that them together, they can take down Kingpin without resorting to murdering him. And this is one of the reasons that she loves him so much. It is one of the reasons that she keeps coming back. And so while they enjoy this night, we are taken into the past. And we see Elektra, she is currently training with Stick, being only 12 years old when she started all of her training. And though she may have been only a child, this didn't matter to Stick in the slightest bit, because all that mattered to Stick was his war. And to Stick, you were either a success or you were a failure. There was no in between. He gave no quarter. And what happens with her training after Stick, that is what she has been trying to hide from everybody. But picking up the next day after she spent her time with Matthew Murdock, we are brought to Columbia University. This is where she met Matthew. This is where she fell in love with him. And this is where she betrayed him. Not knowing who has this file on her, this is the location she was told to come to. Having no idea what is actually inside the file, not knowing who even has this file, she's really just walking around hoping someone grabs her attention. And that's when she runs into Goldie, an old classmate of theirs. Now the assistant DA, they go out and they have some coffee, with Elektra not seeing the individual or being approached by the individual she was supposed to meet. She agrees to sit down, have some coffee, and catch up with an old friend. And with the two of them sitting down, they talk about everything, about life, about Matthew, about which directions they have gone, remorses, regrets, happiness. They talk about all of this. And while she enjoys this nostalgia, she looks out the window to see somebody that is very familiar to her. With Elektra telling Goldie that she has to go, she heads out, goes down an alleyway, and she throws on the Daredevil suit. Not sure what this individual wants, not sure why they would even have the file if this person happens to be that individual, but she is determined to find out what is going on. Now that is what takes us to the past, back to when she was 17 years old. Back then she was looking for something desperately to smash. She was looking for some kind of direction to be pointed in, to take that anger and give it direction. And in the midst of her training, this is where she runs into Akka. With this interruption, we see a fight break out between the two of them, if you could really call this a fight, because Elektra, she is put down by a simple pressure point. Completely unsure of how this happened, Akka lets her know this stick has failed you. With her seeing the unending potential that is inside Elektra, she wants to help her reach that. And the way she wants to help her reach her true potential is through the hand. This is what she has been trying to hide for so long. With Akka being able to get inside the head of Elektra, she became an assassin. Akka had pretended to care about her, and this helped her with this sense of purpose. This helped her stay with the hand, to fight for them and do their bidding. But the truth is, this all ruined her life. And so Elektra goes and chases her down. If this information can get to Matthew, he will know everything. And this is something that she doesn't want happening. And so chasing her down, we are led into the countryside with a snow-covered cliff. Elektra, she approaches Akka, not sure what the game is, not sure why she was drugged all the way out here. Before Elektra can say anything else, we see the girl jump from the ledge. And at this point, she doesn't know what is going on, having no idea what game she is at. Whatever it is, she is ahead of Elektra and she is winning. For so long, the hand had used her as a weapon, as a tool to do their bidding. Remembering when she first was given a sigh and told to kill someone, hesitating just for a moment until she drives that sigh into his chest. Because the truth of the matter is she wanted to do this. That bloodlust had taken over, and she realized the hand had opened up the darkness that was lying underneath the surface. And when the time came, they were ready to send her out into the world on her next mission. That mission was Matthew Murdoch. To show the potential new recruit something beautiful, the beauty in giving into the hand, to soften him up so that he would join the hand. She was never meant to have a relationship, never meant to fall in love with him. But with her done being out in this wilderness, ready to get back to the city and help Matthew with whatever he needs, trying to leave the past exactly where it is, knowing that she will run into her again and more than likely have to deal with the hand at another time. And so with her hopping into her car and headed down to Old Avengers Mansion, this is when a deer jumps out into the road, causing her to swerve and crash off to the side. But as she climbs out of the wreckage, she recognizes that there is a dart in her tire. And so she knows somebody is trying to keep her here and stop her from leaving. And so if that is the case, she is ready to fight, to wage war on anyone that stands in her way. And so throwing on her mask, she heads out into the woods. She begins the hunt for whoever is looking for her. With somebody trying to get the jump on her, she is able to jump out of the way. Trying to figure out who this is, he introduces himself. Because this is Kraven. Kraven the Hunter. And he has come looking for a challenge. He has come looking for Elektra. Alright gang, so diving into issue number 2, we have the confrontation between Elektra and the Hunter. Now Elektra, she has to ask the question, why are you doing this? And for Kraven, it is simple as needing a challenge, of wanting a challenge. And Elektra is known as the world's deadliest assassin. She has an ocean of blood on her hands. And so Kraven, he is using the file as blackmail to get her to fight him, to see who is the better. Kraven seeking some kind of challenge. Why not go after the world's deadliest assassin? Now Elektra, she's not dumb enough to believe that Kraven is behind this himself, believing that Akka, the one from the hand, she is responsible for leading Kraven down this path. But nonetheless, she is now face to face with Kraven, and these two are going at it. And Elektra tries to let him know that he is being played, but honestly, he doesn't care. Taking that file from Fisk, it really does benefit the both of them. But really, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because he has every intention of killing Elektra right here, right now. And Kraven lets her know that he knows there was no way that she would fight him unless he had something. Something like the file on her saying that she worked for the organization known as the Hand, and that her main objective was to bring Matt Murdock into the fold of the Hand. With her denying this mission and keeping this secret from Matt, this is something that she has been trying to keep secret for a very, very long time. But what everyone did not know is the last night that she had spent with Matt Murdock. She knew this would be used as a weapon against her eventually, and so she told Matt everything. She let Matt know exactly who she had been working for, what her objective was, but also letting him know that she loved him, she fell in love with him, and so she turned all of that away. And as the two continue to battle on, Elektra lets him know that she has no need to continue this fight, because what he, Wilson Fisk, and everyone does not know is that Matt Murdock, he already knows the truth. And with him knowing everything, Elektra has no reason to stay here and fight Kraven. With the police showing up, Kraven believing that maybe she's bluffing, looking into her eyes, he knows the truth. He knows that in fact she is not bluffing, that Daredevil does know everything. And so he lets her get away for now. With Elektra having no incentive to fight him, he lets her know that he will go find something, some more insurance, some more reassurance, to ensure that this fight does happen, to make sure Elektra fights at her very best. That way Kraven can say he defeated the world's greatest assassin. But Elektra makes her way out of here, beating up some cops, possibly even shooting one of them. She steals one of the cop cars and she hightails it out of here, because the last thing Kraven had said made her believe that he is going for Goldie, going to go and take him hostage. That way Elektra will face off with him. And she can't help but feel all of the remorse, all of her regret, everything that she has done that has led to this point. And because Elektra had failed in her mission, Akka came after her. When they were up in the air in an airplane, Akka had killed every single one of the guards, killed the pilot, and opened up the door, letting her know that the Hand will always be watching. The Hand will always be there waiting to take you out. And she knows now more than ever that her and Matthew, they need to take down the Hand once and for all. But before they do that, they have to find Goldie, with Kraven the Hunter already capturing him and bringing him in as bait. And with her beating the crap out of some of these Thunderbolt guards, she makes quick work of these guys and she makes her escape. And with Kraven the Hunter having Goldie hostage, with Akka watching from the rooftop, Kraven is ready to finish this fight. And as the two of them are about to face off, being in New York City, Elektra tells Kraven, you probably picked the worst battleground, because any hero, any masked individual, they are the biggest threat in this city and draw the biggest amount of attention. But on the contrary, Kraven the Hunter has never felt safer, and that is because Wilson Fisk, the mayor of New York City, he has deputized Kraven, with Kraven grabbing his Thunderbolt badge and putting it onto his chest. Kraven the Hunter is now the law. And this is where we see round 2 of this fight get underway. Alright gang, so as we dive into this final issue, we are picking up with Elektra and Matt Murdock currently in their bed right after Elektra had told him the truth, that she worked for the Hand, and that her job was to recruit him. That is, until she fell in love. And instead of being met with anger, instead of being met with hostility, Matt Murdock forgave her. And though she believes that he is a fool for doing so, she can't help but love him more. That kind of kindness, that kind of forgiveness, it's something that she's not used to. It's something delicate, something fragile, and something that she will do anything to protect now. But that's what's going to bring us to current time. In the middle of an open freaking field, we have Elektra and Kraven the Hunter going at one another. Off to the side, we have Thunderbolt guards alongside Goldie, holding him hostage so that Elektra will continue to play along. And as everyone watches from the sidelines, two of the greatest fighters to ever exist are currently going toe-to-toe, with both of them being extremely skilled. It's just going to take one mistake, one slip-up, and the other one gets the upper hand. That mistake, it comes from Elektra. With her slipping up, Kraven the Hunter is able to get a punch on her, one that is strong enough to knock her to the ground. And as Kraven goes in to finish this fight, Goldie throws a snowball at the back of his head, distracting Kraven just for a second, giving Elektra the opportunity to kick him in the face and make a run for it. And the reason she is making a run for it is because she is finally accepting that she's not Matt Murdock. She may pretend to be Daredevil, but at the end of the day, that's not who she is. She is Elektra. She is an assassin. She has hunted some of the best targets across the globe, and when she couldn't find them, she drew them out, realizing that she has been going about this all the wrong way. Because no matter her training, no matter the training of Matt Murdock, at the end of the day, their fighting styles are so vastly different. Matt Murdock, at his very core, he is a boxer, he is a brawler, but Elektra, she is a ninja, she is an assassin, and her best game, it is played in the shadows. And so in the building, in this darkness, Kraven the Hunter, he is hunting his prey. Little does he know that he is not the predator. Not in this building, not in these shadows. Elektra has the upper hand, and using the darkness, using his ego against him, Elektra gets the upper hand. Using all of these things to her advantage, she goes in on Kraven the Hunter, and man does she give it to him. She pummels him until Kraven the Hunter is knocked out cold. With him knocked out, this is where we see Akka, her ally, or once upon a time ally, that is inside of the Hand. And this conversation, while it is relatively quick, what Elektra is letting her know is that she has every intention of bringing back the Fist, the one sworn enemy of the Hand. With this challenge against her being accepted, they go their separate ways. Kraven the Hunter and Akka both disappear in a flash, and with thunderbolts directly outside, Elektra, she grabs a disguise. She makes her way outside of this school, and she goes up to find Goldie. And though Goldie, he is now safe and he is free from the thunderbolts, he has tears coming from his face. And that is because he just got a phone call saying that Matthew Murdock, he was found dead in his apartment. Elektra, hearing this news, brought back to a moment where Daredevil and Elektra are fighting on top of a building. The fighting eventually turns into a kiss, but she can't help but think about that moment. Think about his embrace. Think about their love together. But hearing this news, the sadness passes over her and it turns directly to anger, with a little bit of denial, thinking maybe it's Matthew's brother. Maybe it's not Matt. Maybe it could be somebody else. But she knows more than anything that Mayor Fisk is responsible for everything that has transpired. All she can feel is the bloodlust, the want for vengeance, letting Goldie know that she is going to go murder the mayor, because the only person that was actually going to be able to stop her, she was just told, died. And so now nothing stands in her way from being the assassin known as Elektra. Taking us 2 weeks later, we are picking up with Akka and one of the archpriestess of the hand. And the archpriestess is letting her know that her obsession with Elektra is really getting everything off topic. You're not focusing on our overall goal. Your obsession with this girl is gone too far. But she believed that Elektra could truly be the key to them taking over everything. The archpriestess, on the other hand, she has someone else in mind. Someone that is going to bring the beast throughout the world. That somebody is Frank Castle. Rocking his new Punisher logo, it looks like he is working for the Hand. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. I thoroughly have enjoyed this line. With the 3 issues, it really has been a lot of fun because we have seen Elektra really struggling with her trying to adopt Matthew Murdock's type of fighting philosophy and morality. And this is extremely difficult for her, especially after her years of training with the Hand, training to be an assassin, after everyone she has killed, after everyone she has murdered. This is one of the most difficult things that she has ever had to do, but she's also learning. Just like fighting against Kraven the Hunter, she was trying to fight like a brawler, like a boxer, out in the open with no surroundings, going toe to toe. That's a fight she is going to lose 80% of the time. But if you put her in the shadows, if you let her work like a ninja, like an assassin, then she can do almost anything. And so really, Elektra is just trying to find her balance. Her balance in everything that is going on. And as this series had started out, she had stopped herself from going and killing Mayor Fisk. And that is because of Matt Murdock. But now hearing that he is in fact dead, or at least he is believed to be dead, there is nothing standing in her way from slicing him ear to ear. And then of course what everybody has been talking about, it's been on the page of every comic book news source that is out there. Frank Castle, he has a new logo. He has a new Punisher symbol. And that is specifically because he is working with the Hand. And I've heard all of the real world theories about, the Blue Lives Matter, the police adopting it, and Marvel wanting to change the logo because of that. But I don't find any merit to that. I haven't actually found anybody stating that that is in fact the reason. It really just looks like they're trying to change things up, trying to get people to read this new Punisher #1 that is going to be coming out here soon. Because we all know that Frank Castle, he's eventually gonna go back to his regular logo. My guess is that the Punisher is working undercover, trying to infiltrate the Hand and take them down. And so anybody worried that this symbol is going to stay around, don't worry, it's not gonna last forever. It's something that he is doing just for the time being. And I promise you, once we get into Punisher #1 and that series, it's going to tell you that exact same thing. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your theories. If you have not yet, do me a favor, hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, make sure you're not missing any of the awesome content that we have coming out, and until the next breakdown.